Matthew McConaughey gives the performance of his career as Ron Woodruff, a homophobic redneck who helped hundreds of AIDS patients obtain their meds through loopholes in the black market. An all-star cast tells the story of the financial mortgage collapse that nearly bankrupted the United States in 2008. Through various stories we see just how screwed up our financial system is and how no one paid the price for corporate America's greed, no one except normal folk. Billy Beane's attempt to change the MLB scouting and roster building system is a love letter to sports executives as it is a challenge to the status quo. A deep look at the ins and outs of an MLB team, although sadly the Oakland Athletics would eventually be destroyed practically in the future due to a horrible owner. George Clooney directs the 1950s story of journalist Edward R. Murrow and the CBS News team and how they challenged Senator Joseph McCarthy and his anti-communist stance in smearing on various Americans during the Red Scare. Ron Howard directs the story of the Apollo 13 disaster, and how America watched in anguish as 3 astronauts are brought home from space before they run out of oxygen and power. Russell Crowe and Al Pacino bring their A-game in a movie about an ex-tobacco executive who blows the whistle on the dangers of cigarettes. The film is based on the Vanity Fair article, "The Man Who Knew Too Much." Lose Yourself, or Become One with Nature, Into the Wild is the story of Christopher McCandless, a rich college kid from Virginia, who abandons his posh life in search of himself in the harshest of conditions. With a powerful soundtrack provided by Eddie Vedder, Into the Wild is inspiring as well as difficult to take in. In 1972, a man caused chaos in a Brooklyn bank, taking hostages. The incident captivated the media and the city for hours. It was later revealed that the man, who was married, also lived as a gay man and was trying to fund his gay fiancé's sex change. This story inspired the acclaimed film Dog Day Afternoon, directed by Sidney Lumet and starring Al Pacino. The best film in the career of Jennifer Lopez as she plays an erotic dancer who begins to drug her Wall Street clients and run up their credit cards to survive the financial crisis of 2008. During the 1979 Iranian Revolution, a movie-loving CIA agent thinks of a scam to get 6 diplomats out of Iran by pretending to be a Canadian film crew shooting a fake Star Wars-like sci-fi film. The film is a very loose way of telling the story of the rise of Facebook and its strange CEO, Mark Zuckerberg. The film is very stylized and shows the one element Zuckerberg doesn't have: humanity. The film based on the life and struggle of the MLB's first Afro-American player Jackie Robinson. It is a story that overcomes adversity and paves the way to understanding the legend of Robinson. Maybe the greatest film ever made from South America, City of God tells the story of one of Brazil's most dangerous slums, the Cidade de Deus. Through City of God, we go from the 1960s all the way to the turbulent 70s where 2 rival gangs turn the slum into a war zone in their quest to gain control of the drug trade. Natalie Portman is incredible as Jackie Kennedy, who does a Life magazine interview following the assassination of her husband. The film focuses on her keeping it together for her children and the country as the world mourns John F. Kennedy. Goodfellas is a mob classic that depicts Henry Hill's ascent and downfall as a Lucchese crime family associate. Martin Scorsese masterfully portrays the allure and perils of organized crime. The film delves into the infamous Lufthansa heist, the largest cash robbery in U.S. history, which remains unsolved and claimed many lives. A riveting road movie that depicts the travels of Ernesto Che Guevara and his friend Alberto Granado through South America. The posh doctors begin to see the injustices that have plagued South America for decades and travel from Buenos Aires, Chile, Peru, until they reach Venezuela. A coming-of-age story that would change the course of the life of Ernesto Che Guevara. Martin Scorsese's look at the life of prizefighter turned semi-actor Jake LaMotta is mesmerizing. Shot in black and white and focusing on the near-obsessive LaMotta's fall from grace earned the film 2 Oscars. The film about the complex and even evil life of Richard Cheney is a home run as the audience sees how Cheney climbs the ranks of American politics by hiding in the shadows and becoming the most influential vice president in U.S. history. Ha! You didn't have this one. But yes, the Owen Wilson comedy is based on the memoir of the same name. The story of a Labrador and its owner is both heartwarming and heartbreaking as we see their love grow through the passage of time. The riveting story of how the Boston Globe uncovers cases of widespread and systematic child sex abuse in the Boston area by numerous Catholic priests is Oscar-worthy, with standout performances by Mark Ruffalo, Rachel McAdams, and Michael Keaton. Directed by Steven Spielberg, Schindler's List tells the true story of Oskar Schindler, a war profiteer who tries to save Jewish families working in his factory during the Nazi era. With a black and white aesthetic and a talented supporting cast including Ralph Fiennes and Ben Kingsley, the film offers a powerful glimpse into one of humanity's darkest periods. David Fincher's film about the publicity-seeking serial killer known as the Zodiac is both creepy, funny, and gut-wrenching. The film follows the police detectives who are in charge of finding the killer and the news media who covered him. The way the film connects nearly 15 years of story is a highlight of great storytelling. Extremely underrated movie. Martin Scorsese has a knack for telling true life stories and rise and fall characters. Marty goes full Goodfellas mode with the story of Jordan Belfort and his worthless stocks and manipulation of his employees with his get-rich-quick Wall Street scam. An amazing film that highlights the Watergate scandal that brought down the presidency of Richard Nixon. Robert Redford and Dustin Hoffman give career performances, and the film won 4 Oscars. Spike Lee's biopic of the life of the civil rights leader is an amazing undertaking. Denzel Washington becomes Malcolm X and gives the performance of his career, and that is saying something. In order to complete this masterpiece, Lee had to raise funds from some of the most influential African Americans, from Oprah to Michael Jordan.